She's 83.
Alright.
This is the story about our dog.
The title of the story is called Cowboy Duke. So,
We, in December 2024, decided we would go visit Grandma Betty in Sedalia. She lives out in the country on a farm with dairy cattle. And we decided to go drive up there and arrived around 9:30 p.m.
yeah, we got there around 9:30 p.m. and to our surprise, her outdoor cats have now become indoor cats. So, I'm pregnant with our first child.
And very allergic to cats.
And very allergic to cats. And I was trying so hard to be polite, but after about 2 hours, I was crying because I couldn't breathe and I was very scared for the baby. So, we decided to step out of the house.
We decided to go outside just to get some fresh air. We were Googling ideas. We were texting family members.
With what little service we had.
Sarah's mom was like, "You need to get out," and my sister was like,
"Maybe it's okay.
It might be okay."
Yeah.
So we went outside,
and there's like a big yard area, so Duke was running around there.
Well, we decided to bring him out because he's usually been pretty good on the farm. We've trusted him to be off leash, whatever.
One time before. He was good on leash.
So.
Sorry, I just have to pause the story. How do you do that?
This is our cowboy. You playing with your toy buddy.
Okay. Anyways. Okay.
So we let him outside. He's sniffing, and at the edge of the property, there's like this cattle guard, and he decides to cross it.
So
over.
He is beginning to wrangle the cows, just like a dog would do, and just herding the cows around. We are freaking the heck out because we're like, oh my gosh, he's gonna get trampled. What do we do? What do we do? So Elijah immediately.
I jumped the fence. I'm in a large coat. It's winter. I'm in a pair of basketball shorts.
From PJs.
And my tennis shoes. And it is so dark. It's what?
Pitch black. This started at 11:50.
It started at 11:50. And I'm just like yelling at him and he won't listen. We are city folk. We are city folk. We are not used to being around cows.
No. So anyways, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, Grandma Betty, you ran for the cows. What do I do? And she is like, oh, he'll come back. He'll come back. Just come to the light. We'll turn on all the porch lights.
Meanwhile, I'm there with my big coat, my shorts, my tennis shoes, stomping through the cow manure with my flashlight on. I'm like, Duke, come here, Duke, where are you? And yelling, and like, I swear, whenever he gets close, he just bolts the other direction. And these cows are, moo, moo, moo. And yeah, he's not listening to us. So Grandma Buddy's like, come on back.
Come on back.
So I jump the fence, I wait on the porch.
And I decide that I will sit in the car and honk the horn. So I proceed to do that for about 20-30 minutes while Elijah is debriefing to Grandma Betty about what the heck is happening.
Yeah, at that point it was about 1 a.m. And she's there doing her devotion, reading her scriptures, and she's like, well, I was wondering why he's not coming back. Maybe he got lost out there. And it was really dark, and he had never been over that way before. And like every once in a while we would hear Duke bark, and we're like, okay, good, he's not trampled.
It's a good healthy bark.
That's a good healthy bark. But it would be very far away.
Yeah, so
and it's 1 a.m.
At 1 a.m. Elijah told Grandma, like, go to sleep, it's pretty late. And yeah, so he comes out and talks to me.
I sit in the car for a minute and I'm just like, okay, what are we going to do if we do get it back? Because we're not going to drive home. We were thinking we were going to drive home or go to Jefferson City or something because we were not going to sleep there. But it was 1 a.m. So
because of my asthma.
Because of the asthma and being pregnant.
So Elijah says a prayer, right?
Well, I say a prayer where I'm like, God, if this is your sense of humor, it's pretty good. We are. It's pretty funny.
This is December 23rd, right before Christmas. Just we forgot to
this
say
is
that part.
morning of Christmas Eve at this point.
Yeah.
And so Sarah's out in the car. She's honking at Duke every once in a while. She's camping out there so she doesn't have to go into the cat house. And so then I'm like, you know what? I need to have some faith. So I start grabbing everything and moving it out, bring it to the porch. Sarah loads it up in the car. We say that prayer, and then I'm like, okay, I need to exercise faith, and I need to go out there. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, I forgot to mention, when he came back from hopping the fence, his feet were covered in cow poop. It was so gross. So he went back to the cow poop.
I went back there, but I had my flashlight, and I navigated a little bit better.
Then oh, good. I decided I need to exercise a little bit of faith, so I went to the edge of the fence and was yelling. But I'm falling a lot, so I did not decide to jump.
The balance isn't quite there with being pregnant.
No, it's not there. So.
So, I'm walking for a while, and I had gone out there. I had jumped the fence a couple times before this when we were trying to get him. And we can't see him not very rarely. Every once in a while we hear his bark, but it's like super far away. And so like I'm just walking out there and I have no idea what anything is. I knew there's a huge creek if you go far enough.
So you jumped the creek, right?
I jumped a little creek, not the huge one.
Okay.
So I crossed like this stream and I keep walking and I'm like saying a prayer. I'm like, I don't know if this is right. And then I get to this one point and I just stop and I'm like, I think I need to just stop here. I'm like, I don't know if it's because it's dangerous or if he's going to come here or whatever it is or I'm going to get mauled. And so I just stay there and say prayer.
And we were hearing coyotes by this point. Anyways.
Yeah, we were hearing coyotes. And then Sarah says, I think I hear Duke.
Yeah, I was hearing jingling. It was coming not exactly where you were from, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I hear Duke. So Elijah kind of, didn't you freeze where you were for a minute?
I think I froze before that, but then I was like even more thinking of like, I wonder if Duke's there. And
I think I was hearing a cow or something else.
Could have been a cow or something.
Maybe a different dog or something.
And so after
it was just like a minute or two.
It was just a minute or two. I start calling him, and then finally he shows up out of the dark. He likes to jump up. He jumps up, pushes off my legs, does a spin move. I'm like, okay, dude, finally. You're here. Get him on the leash. Walk him back. Sarah's in disbelief.
Yeah, I'm like, are you sure you have him? Are you sure? Because I just didn't think he was coming back. That was 2 a.m. that we got him back.
That was 2 a.m.
He was covered in poop. It was pretty gross.
We get him in the car, and we start to drive, and it's like 2.5 hours back.
Yeah, so we start driving. I think I made it through the first hour, and then Elijah took over, and we were doing our best to stay awake, but by 4 a.m. we were like trying to like sing along to music and like stay awake. So I was trying to support him because he was driving, and I didn't want to die on the road. So, but we were singing songs, and I don't know if you knew this, but as I was singing the lyrics, I was singing the lyrics half asleep. So I'd go, I can't think of a song, but I was like,
and so that's why I was driving towards the end, because I felt like I had some juice. But then we got to like 30 minutes away from home, and I'm just like, okay, let's pull off at a gas station.
We put beanies over our eyes.
Beanies over our head. I put like a hood over my head.
Yeah, I put a beanie over my eyes, and we tried to sleep.
Yeah, and so then after like half an hour, we get up and drive the rest of the way. We get back home.
Yep, and we're like strategizing, so we have to immediately get Duke in the bath. We immediately get him in the bath, and this is 5:15, 5:30. So we immediately get him in the back. Elijah's bringing in like, you brought in like 1 or 2 things. I can't remember exactly what you brought in.
Yeah, I brought in some suitcases.
But I was trying to bathe Duke pretty quick while he was doing that, because somebody needed to do one thing, somebody needed to do the other thing. So, but he had like 40 plus thorns in him. It was ridiculous.
And they were like under his eye, above his eye.
And he had like 5 or 6 cuts on his face. Then after the bath, we kind of were able to like look over him a little bit more. This was at 6 a.m.
His paw pad on like one of his front paws was pretty like torn up. one of his
Yeah.
back paws was like,
Like the quick,
yeah, it was like cut.
the fingernail
It was
cut.
exposed.
Yeah. So once he was done, and we evaluated him, we jumped ourselves in the shower. And I think I was in bed by like 6:30, 6:45 in the morning. I don't know if you were later than me or if you were around the same time.
I stayed up so I could write my journal to record the experience and see like what a blessing it was that we actually found him and that our prayers were answered, and we had so much faith and our faith was answered.
Mm-hmm. It was really cool. I will say we had studied our scriptures a lot before that day, and there's a lot more that could have gone wrong.
Oh yeah.
But I think because we studied our scriptures, like, it was still good for us to go through that experience, even though it was really difficult and annoying and ridiculous. I think it was healthy for us to learn and grow and, like, have that trust and faith in God that, like, Duke didn't get trampled and that he didn't have coyotes come take bites out of him. He didn't go to another property and attack another dog, because that's something he would do. Didn't break a leg.
Limbs. He had cuts, but he wasn't bleeding like crazy.
Yeah, he's still, it's all 3 weeks after, and he's still licking wounds, but
Mostly one paw.
mostly one paw, but it's just mostly because, I don't know, he might have gotten,
He might have got cut at the dog sitters.
yeah, he was at the dog sitters for a week, so, and she didn't say anything was bad with him, so he was doing pretty good. Anyways, there's Duke the Cowboy.
Duke the Cowboy.